Hey guys, Aaron and Melody here from houseofhaha.com with a nomadic adventure update. Today we want to do a video talking about where we camped last night and this morning at the Bar Harbor Campground in Bar Harbor, Maine. First of all, we'll start off with positives, then we'll get to some of our little criticisms or things that we observed. Mainly this video is for people who are looking to travel through Maine, maybe camp through here, who've never been in this part of the country before, not familiar with it, and are also looking for affordable camping where you're trying to get the most out of your money for the amenities that the campground is offering to you. So, on the plus side, let's start with the staff. Very nice people. Very friendly, very helpful. If you have questions for them, they're very quick to want to answer them and want to talk to you. So big kudos to the staff here. Had no problems with them. Very lovely people. The overall woods and, look at the campground. It's a pretty campground.
Oh, we forgot our rag.
That's okay. We're just getting packed up here. We'll make sure we won't leave that behind. It's a nice campground. They obviously spend a lot of time keeping the grounds themselves very clean. The sites themselves are not very big. This is in comparison to other campgrounds we've stayed around the country, so it'll fit, a tent. We got our car pulled back in here. It's got a bench, it's got a fireplace. They come around in the mornings apparently and they clean out the ashes from your campground. So all that I would consider on the plus side. It's right near the coast, so it's right off the coast in Maine.
It's the closest campground to Acadia National Park.
100%. It's the closest campground to the Acadia National Park, which only has 2 campgrounds in it, and both those filled up very fast last night. So all pluses in that way. So if you're looking to travel to the Acadia National Park and to see this part of Maine, and you want someplace nearby, having to go very far, the Bar Harbor Campground would be a plus for stopping in over there. Now, some of the general information about it. For a tent campsite, which is what you see we're camping at right now, they charge you $34 a night for staying here. Not the most expensive thing we found in the country. Southern California has campgrounds near the beach that go for like $45, but this is only $10 shy of that, or $11. They say in the description, they offer Wi-Fi. They offer showers. Paid showers, which that's another plus side. Their showers here is like 5 minutes for a quarter, which is extremely affordable for camping, because normally you're paying like at least 50 cents for like 4 minutes, and then up your quarters from there. So basically $1 will get you a 20-minute shower. Also, the water was very, very hot, so another plus side on that. They offer, I said, the Wi-Fi services. The Wi-Fi service here it's not great, I'm not gonna be a lie. As Melody described it earlier, it's Wi-Fi that just makes you basically sit around and wait as your battery drains. Now, we're right next to the bathrooms in the campground that we chose. We stayed at campground in Loop S, Site 16, and we're right next to it. And supposedly the bathroom is where the repeaters are for the Wi-Fi service. So in theory, we should be getting excellent service, but the service lasts for a couple minutes, and then it drops you off. And then you have to restart your Wi-Fi again. Then it goes for a few minutes, and it drops you off. So basically what you're doing is restarting your Wi-Fi service and draining your battery as you're sitting around. We've attempted to upload YouTube videos this morning and did not have any real success at doing that.
My 1-hour video upload took about 10 hours.
About 10 hours, exactly. So that is not the best Wi-Fi if you're looking to have use of that at your campground. What else? The toilets. Now, they offer flush toilets here with sinks with both hot and cold running water, which is not something you find at every campground across the country when you're, that offer those kind of things, especially having hot water. The toilets here appear to be low flow, which means when you flush them, a very minimal amount of water comes out of the toilet, which means when we walked in there last night to go use the restrooms, literally all the stalls in there were full of toilet paper and other people's shit that they tried to obviously flush, and it did not want to go down. So then the toilets get backed up. Then the toilets overflow, and then you walk into a bathroom that ended up having a bunch of, shit water on the ground. So that, not super cool. My thought of that is if you're going to offer, as part of your amenities, you're going to offer toilet services, the flushing toilets and things like that, then they should be in a capacity where they're going to actually function. Because I don't see it the fault of the campers. If 5 people go inside there and try to use your toilets and all 5 of them can't flush the toilets because you don't have enough water flowing through it, that's really kind of an issue on the campground that should be addressed. What else? They don't post for like advisory concerns about like what's in the area. I'm talking about like specifically about ticks. Now, as soon as we got to New York, we've been to campgrounds again all over the country, and if there's ticks in the areas, they're really good about posting those on the information signs or letting you know, hey, look, there's ticks here, so be careful when you walk out in the woods, be careful with your pets, be careful with your children, make sure you're checking yourself every night.
But most places say that it's not in the campground, it's if you go off into the trails.
If you go off on the trails or if in the woods or things like that. Ever since Grimlock got a deer tick on it back in New York State, we've been pretty diligent about even more so diligent about checking this kind of stuff. We lived in Arizona. There's no ticks in Arizona because it's too hot and too sunny, and ticks don't do well in the sun. So I ended up asking the people here about the tick situation and mosquito situation that was here, and on that they said there's really no mosquitoes because we're in an island area, so mosquitoes don't come here, but they said there was ticks. There was enough ticks here to the point that 4 members of the staff at the Bar Harbor Campground ended up getting Lyme disease.
In the past year.
This spring. So,
but don't worry, because the guy said the last group of campers took all the ticks with them.
Yeah, which is really, it's not funny, because that's not a thing. The campers don't take all the ticks with them. If there's ticks here, there's going to probably be hundreds of thousands of, not hundreds of thousands, but at least hundreds, if not into the thousands of ticks in our area. I don't know the exact number, but there's not just 1 or 2 ticks that the campers take with them. So it was his way, I think, of trying to make light of the situation, so it wasn't a big deal. However, Lyme's disease is not something you want to screw around with. There's precautions you can take, but I feel like when you walk into a campground that does have ticks, particularly ticks that carry Lyme disease, and you know your staff has been infected with Lyme disease from getting bit by a tick, that this is something you should let your guests know about. If you don't, it's basically negligent. It's really, you're putting people's, that's one of the biggest concerns go camping. You can catch a disease. You can get very sick. You can die from Lyme disease. So it's something they really should be letting people know about. When we leave here today on our comment card, we're definitely going to be addressing that and going, please let people know they've got ticks in your forest. We found this out because when I went inside there, I had to ask about it. And this was after we let Grimlock already go walking around, and go and pee on trees and stuff like that. So we had to check him 3 or 4 times just to make sure everything was cool. There's no bears here. There's no raccoons. There's basically a bunch of squirrels. So
there is a heated pool.
There is a heated pool, and this is part, I think, where they end up justifying their $34 a night camping, is that they have a heated pool here. They have like a little playground section for the kids. Myself personally, and Melody and I, those aren't things in camping that we end up looking for. I don't go to campgrounds to go swimming in a heated pool. We don't have kids, so I'm not worried about going to a playground or things like that. I understand there's people who do camp at private campgrounds like this and the kind of stuff they look for, so I think that's an individual thing, if that's what you're looking for. They also talk about having a coastal view. That's a bit of a misnomer because there's one section of the campground that's right near where the edge of a cliff or near where you can look out and see the ocean, and everything else looks like this. And this is my first time on the Atlantic seaboard. You can't hear the ocean from here. Like if I had campsites at the Pacific Ocean or like say Fort Bragg where you camped before in California, you can hear the waves coming in. As far as, unless someone told me I was near the Atlantic Ocean, this could be any campground around America. There's nothing that kind of unique about it. So the $34 payment for the ocean view is really only limited to one section of it. And that particular section doesn't have this many trees or shade. So
fewer ticks if there's sun.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Where there's ticks, that's those people near the coast or the edge of there where there's less trees and there's not shade. There's gonna be less ticks over there because there's not as much. There's not as much shade. What else for you guys to know about? It hasn't been a bad experience here. Again, the campgrounds are small. There's not a lot of space. Like you can look in other people's campgrounds and everyone can see everyone really clearly. Again, that's a personal preference. I like a lot of privacy when I camp. I don't like people being able to look into my campground, so clearly. I don't want to look into their campground so clearly. So we ended up putting a tarp up last night to create a view on it, to block it off, to get a little, not everyone could just peek in while we're sleeping. Melody, is there anything else we should listen to? Want to tell people about the Bar Harbor Campground or camping in this area if they've never been here before? That you can think of?
It's not terrible. It's a fine place to stay. It looks pretty if you don't mind a lot of people around you, but just some of the amenities do not quite live up to what they're billed as.
The bathrooms, I think, is my biggest issue. Oh, the showers here too. I wouldn't take a shower in them. I wouldn't call them clean.
It smelled like too much poop to shower in there. And I don't want to wear my tennis shoes in there. I don't want my sandal feet in there.
it wasn't very clean. Like when I walked in there, if I'm paying $34, I have a certain value for my money. I'm looking for a certain expectation.
Just to be clear, you can get a cabin for like under 70, like near here. So that's like what your competition is.
Say too, on another plus side. Now this is the basic primitive site, just the tent site. It's $34. Now they do have some other of the loops here that have like for pop outs or not necessarily
for
RVs.
anybody.
For anybody, you can pull into them, and they have power. And I think
it's only like a $2 upcharge or something.
Like $4. It's $40 basically.
No, the $40 got you hookups and power.
Oh, hookups and power. That's right. So only a couple bucks more for a power as far as the upcharge for that, and that's pretty reasonable. They're not trying to gouge you in price on that. So I think it's a hit and miss thing. Really nice staff. It's a pretty campground. I mean, it's not the greatest one I've seen, but it's not terrible by any stretch of the imaginations.
They were going to strictly enforce quiet times, which is important for us recently, since people have been some raging B-holes and A-holes and all the other letters of holes.
Where you just want to commit a hate crime because
no,
they just won't be
don't
quiet.
say that.
People want to scream and yell, and they're setting fireworks off. They just, and at 10 p.m. after quiet time, there's a certain amount of noise you have to accept when you're going camping, especially when you're this close to other people. Like, you're going to hear some stuff, but when it gets to the evening hours and past the quiet time at 10 p.m., you really expect everyone to kind of be mellow and chill, and not kids running around screaming, fireworks going off. This place, the Bar Harbor Campground, strictly enforces its quiet time and not having any disturbance. Matter of fact, that seems the biggest thing they emphasize when you come here is not, hey, there's ticks and give you Lyme disease. It's like, if you disturb anyone, there will be no second chances. You will be kicked out. There's a sign that literally says that. No second chances. One disturbance, you're out of here, and no refunds on it. Another thing about on the payment, it's cash only.
Oh yeah.
So if you're someone who doesn't carry a lot of cash with you, and you're used to paying with credit cards or things like that,
like if you're staying for a week or something, you'd have to have $170 or something.
You got to have the cash in your pocket, because their sign when they walk in there says they're not set up to accept credit cards, which in 2016 means I'm not interested in accepting credit cards, because it's not a difficult thing to set up.
But there's fees.
There's fees involved in it, and basically what it says is they're not interested in giving up 3% of their profits for just the benefit of their customers being able to have credit cards. So yeah, it's a hit and miss thing. I understand as a business owner why they want to do that. I have an online business, so I have to accept credit cards. That's just a normal thing. They're at a campground, so they don't necessarily, it's not a big deal to them.
We need to get going.
So I think that's pretty much it. Again, I give it this is like a
5 out of 10.
2.5 star situation out of 5.
That's even then.
Right in the middle. They got some things they need to work on here that were not super great, but there's also, it was not a terrible camping experience. They obviously try to make it a pleasant thing for you. They're very family oriented, so I would give it, I would say check it out, give them a call if you want to come down here. They take pets, they don't charge you extra for pets, that's another plus on it too. So anyway, Bar Harbor Campground in Bar Harbor, Maine. If you're coming to this area, take a peek, check it out, talk to the staff here, see for yourself what you think, and let us know what you think. If you've been here before, leave a comment, tell us about your experiences camping here. Other than that, please go to houseofhaha.com, buy some t-shirts from us, buy some of our mugs, check our travel sponsorship, see if you want to maybe donate like $10 towards our coffee, collection, so we can have coffee in the mornings or things like that, or towards our gas, anything like that. You'll be a part of our journey by helping us continue to make our way around the rest of the country. So this is Aaron from houseofhaha.com. Melody's behind the camera.
See ya.
Have a reasonable day.